Hey, hello all. Welcome to this very quick, crisp and clear session of evolution of container. I have a further detailed explanation about entire Docker. We have a series of Docker which I'll place the link in the bio details of this video. So let's quickly start. Let's say you want to build an application would could be a next big thing. Could be next Facebook or next Pandora or could be next Amazon, next YouTube or whatever. But to make that application, which would be available, like you made an application and you want to make it to want to make it available to public, you would need some place to host it, right? And talking about early 2000, this small thing wasn't that small, and it meant you need to build your own computer, set up a dedicated web service called server, which basically would be a computer dedicated only for hosting your website or your web service in addition to your own personal computer. Or after making your application, you don't have that amount of money, or maybe you don't have that amount of hardware, or you don't want to have your own server, so you would be checking out other hosting companies like GoDaddy, BigRock, etc., which will provide you the hosting details. And that's like a kind of a really big journey. So developers had a high relief when the age of cloud came in. Companies like Amazon, Google, though were already very popular, became even more as they realized the need of the hour and were very good at putting your homemade applications go live through their own data center, which is a bunch of collections of server. Unlike web hosting services, these companies adopted a concept called virtualization, which I explained, as I said, in Docker sessions. You can check the link below. So the virtualization was the concept where it was where we realized that the hardware resources, that is the server, the big thing server, can be broken down further more through software functionality and provide resources more optimally to customers who need them. This is why cloud computing was also known as utility computing, since you only pay for the services you use instead of taking the entire server for your own use. It is generally more cost efficient. It was generally, and it is generally more cost efficient for both you and for the hosting companies. And not to forget, cloud computing is more optimized, way more optimized for performance than having your own dedicated server. But high-end technology like cloud computing could also not avoid one thing, which is heavy operating usage. When I mean operating system, I mean Microsoft Windows. Linux could be REHL, Ubuntu, Fedora, etc., or Mac OS. These OSs are huge, and when you try to download them, then they can easily go over like 1 megabytes, my bad, 1 gigabytes in size, also known as OS image. But the application that you made, the homemade application that you made on your laptop, may need only limited libraries and dependencies, which when combined have a size of like 300 MB to start, you know, only 300 MB of the total plethora of all the libraries and binaries and dependencies that an OS has. Only 300 MB was needed to start your application. So now the question arises, why would you want a virtual machine, which is a virtualized environment resulted from virtualization that has the size of 1 gigabyte or way more than that? Plus, and like, why would you even want 1 GB of data when you can easily work it in like less than 300 MB, 200 MB? That is when the concept of container arrived, while which Docker is one of them. Working on the concept of containerization uh, is actually trying to fix that. So what different does Docker or container do, you may ask? So Docker, instead of hosting each, if you see in this image, Docker, instead of hosting each operating system on a specific OS, like individual OS, which you see here, guest OS, um, Docker usually identifies which all common resources will be used by all apps. Okay, and that can be shared, and it has the magical engine called Docker engine, which sits on top of OS like this, And that's the breakthrough idea. I mean, like in my session, or in this image, you can visually observe how the hierarchy became so much less with the use of container. Just look at the hierarchy. It has like one layer, two layer, three layer, four layer, five layers, six layers to reach your application. Whereas in Docker, you have like one, two, three, four, and like on fifth, you have your application. So we have in a way reduced one layer of a very big OS, guest OS. A lot of space have been already reduced. So in a way, this is a very simple solution, nothing more than introducing another layer between OS and the application to optimize resource usages and reduce the need of redundant operating system. However, this, as I said, is a breakthrough in application development, as this level of abstraction is exactly what all enterprise companies and individual developers needed. Less hassle for provision of giant virtual machines. You see, hypervisor, just one container, which is Docker, which will have all the essential requirements to host your application. So as a result, after adopting Docker container, or you may say containerization technology, your applications now can be deployed by using Docker faster, way faster. It can be undeployed way faster. You can start way faster. You can stop it way faster. You can change to another so-called image, the this image term and everything. You can check it out in, if you go with the Docker sessions, you'll understand what image is. But yes, you can change to any other so-called image very fast. You can process fast. You can do many things, like everything has the word faster. So we will see all this benefits and how this Docker exactly works, and how this freaking breakthrough technology has given to so many different terminologies, which is one is very famous, which every entire enterprise is using, is microservices, which is entirely a different beast of topic. But yes, we will be covering these topics as well in some other sessions. And also this is being heavily used now in ethical hacking platforms as well. So in all, that's the journey of container, from where it started and now where we are, and it's a way better technology. Happy Docker.